the latest radio transmission?
I don't know. We haven't reached that stage of the investigation as yet.
I mean, was there any trouble reported, or?
I can tell you from what I've seen is what appeared to have happened very quickly. The aircraft never got, the aircraft actually got off the airstrip, but not having traveled over beyond the airstrip, because shortly after it took off, it took a left bank and ditched into a swampy area just about 200 feet off the runway.
The twin-engine Cessna was headed for Florida when it crashed Saturday on Abaco Island, 100 miles north of Nassau. From witness statements, an engine may have failed and that the plane may have been overloaded.
One thing we may discover that we can determine the weight of the luggage, which may help the investigators in determining whether the plane had an overload.
And this is such a shock, especially, her album was just out. She's filming her video. She has movies in the works. No one expected this. In her career, everyone expected it to be so huge. I mean, you think of Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez. These are the types of people that, she was going to be one day. And for her just to be gone overnight is really scary and sad. And to be so young, I think it really just affects people in a very powerful way.
Crew and their pilot have to go on knowing if they hadn't changed their flight plans, they would still be alive.
We dropped them off in Treasure Key, and then we were scheduled to pick them back up on Saturday.
With that same aircraft?
Yes, ma'am. And on Saturday, we got a call and said that they weren't complete with the shoot at this time, and that they actually wanted to be picked up on Sundays.
But 9 of the roughly 40 people Sky Limo dropped off decided to return a day early and chartered a flight with a different company, a significantly smaller plane that Bahamian investigators say may have been overloaded.
One of those things of fate that, if she'd been on this plane that next day, maybe this all wouldn't have happened. We all wouldn't be here, but no telling why. And we'll all have to wait, I'm sure, for the reasons as to what happened with the other airplane.
When the twin-engine Cessna crashed, witnesses said it rolled hard to the left after taking off and fell almost straight down. There have been unconfirmed reports that the pilot, Luis Morales of Fort Lauderdale, may have questioned the amount of cargo and passengers to be loaded, and that's one of the first areas investigators will look into.
One thing we may discover that we can determine the weight of the luggage, which may help the investigators in determining whether the plane had an overload.
The crew that perished in the crash traveling with Aaliyah was scheduled to come back to South Florida on Sunday with the charter company Sky Limo in this 15-passenger plane, which can carry up to 4,500 pounds of fuel, passengers, and luggage. But for some reason, Aaliyah and her entourage chose to leave on Saturday afternoon in the smaller Cessna.
We feel very terrible about what happened. It was obviously a terrible tragedy. One of those things of fate that, if she'd been on this plane that next day, maybe this all wouldn't have happened. We all wouldn't be here.
In New York City, a mural was made Monday in remembrance of the young R&B star who many said had an unlimited future. But 2 of those on board were from South Florida. Bodyguard Scott Gallen lived in Pompano Beach, and pilot Luis Morales lived in Fort Lauderdale, not far from his parents. Morales' father says his son visited him just a few weeks ago and constantly spoke of the joy of being a pilot. The crash investigation will take time, and officials will reconstruct what's left of the wreckage and take into account the cargo and witness statements that say the plane may have lost one of its engines on takeoff from Marshport.
Last saw Aaliyah before she died, because Aaliyah too died inside of a plane crash. It wasn't a helicopter, but it was a plane crash. And yeah, I was there for it. I'm from Abaco, Bahamas, just in case anyone didn't know. And I used to do baggage, carrying the bags for people at the airport. When Aaliyah came to our country, she had a certain taxi driver, my stepmother, Louise McIntosh. That was her taxi driver. Man, Aaliyah is an awesome person. But that incident that day, she didn't want none of it. She didn't even want to get on the plane. I remember it clearly. The thing is, she had a major headache. And she was on the phone with her boyfriend at one point. She told him that she didn't want to get on. I heard the conversation, but it's like not all of it, but I knew she didn't want to get on the airplane because the whole weight situation. Everyone in the airport was saying the same thing. Everyone. But no, the people that was with her was consistent on getting on the fucking airplane. So like Aaliyah went and took a nap for 30 minutes. Whoever her people were that was with her, her entourage or her managers or whatever, they gave her some pills. She passed out in the back seat of the van. I mean, I thought that she was like knocked out, like in a coma, like she was gone. The next time Aaliyah woke up was when it was time to board the plane, bro. She didn't even know she was getting on an airplane. But that's life, man. I never really thought about speaking about it because us as islanders, we get shunned upon if we talk about stuff. And I guess like a couple of my peoples in the islands told me that they tried to blame the Bahamas on it. And I was like, what? How y'all gonna blame the Bahamas for that? Like, we didn't tell her to get on the airplane. Like, that was out of our control. But as soon as that airplane went up and that airplane went down, everyone on that island went out there to go look for that airplane, bro. Because we knew it was too much weight. Too much weight on that little ass plane. And whoever made her get on that plane, bro, you're fucked up.
Because Tupac was engaged to Quincy Jones's daughter. Quincy Jones's daughter was best friend was Aaliyah. Aaliyah was engaged to Dame Dash. Now, if y'all follow these people back, all of them either died or was brought to ruin. Dame Dash broke, he had to go back to Jay-Z. Tupac dead, Aaliyah dead. Now listen, those of y'all that know history, how many people can we name right now that died in the same way Aaliyah died? On a plane crash on the side of a mountain, which they control by remote control. You've heard of drone airplanes, right or wrong? Ron Brown died the same way. Mickey Leland, General Torrijos from Panama. All of these people died. That's an old CIA trick. So we shouldn't fall for that. But why did they want Aaliyah out of the picture? We have to understand it. And the last movie Aaliyah, the movie that Aaliyah did was Queen of the Damned, where these people were eating her. Are you following me? Simulating eating her. And this is exactly what I said in some of my DVDs that I was selling. I said, these people match our frequency and they can't live without us.
It's fucking awful what they did to that woman. It's fucking awful. She was amazing. Aaliyah was amazing.
Yeah, she really
If she
was.
had been alive now, there's a lot of people that wouldn't have jobs. Funny how that worked out for some people. You know.
I was Aaliyah's production stage manager till the day she died. When David Dash that morning took Continental. That morning, her mama took Continental. And Ike Williams, who rented that bullshit ass, they put her on a fucking property. I did every single ride show that Aaliyah did the last 14 months of her life. And I didn't do her business. If I was there, I funded the niggas on her a few days before. They killed her. And that's what I've been saying. They killed her. Yeah, the truth. I was going to check her. She went to a show now. They Janet, Queen Latifah, Jay-Z, all them motherfuckers. She would not move without Susie out at that point.
It really bothered me to say, well, he didn't, you know what I mean? It's like, if they did, you know, she was like, she's a martyr, you know what I mean? Like, she's an angel. So just to be saying that you knew her is that, like, you know, it's like she'll go down in history. Like, I just feel privileged to have the time I had with her.
This is my crew. You know, we put, you know, the style she gave everybody ribbons and this I don't even know what to say. I just know that was a murder. You know what I'm saying? That was a spiritual murder, whether people know it or not. Because God don't kill people. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know it or not. And I could go deep, but a lot of people I would have to really bring proof. You know what I'm saying? For what I learned. And she just was cut down in the prime of her life. And it's so unfair. And it wasn't time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I believe it wasn't her time to go because from what I know, it ain't supposed to go down like that. And just simple obedience, like, you know, your gut always warns you. That your gut never lies to you. And something like luggage and clothes and jewelry and all this madness that we worship is called false idols. We need to really look at the bigger picture right now. And look at how Honey could be here right now. So let's you understand what I'm saying?
Just like the birds that whistle in the trees, hidden the leaves so happily. Well, you're my tree, and through a storm